What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Cruise News Show. I'm your host, Tony, here with some breaking cruise news. The CDC has been keeping a secret from the cruise industry, and now, thanks to a couple members of Congress, they have to reveal their hand. I don't think anybody else is talking about this, so you're getting scooped here on the Cruise News Show. You're getting scooped here at the Lido Loca channel, so buckle up for that. And I also have a word for everybody out there that's concerned that we're thinking about cruising during the spike in the pandemic. Let's go. Okay, first off, before I can tell you about the CDC's secret, let me tell you about what a couple people in the Congress are saying when it comes to sailing. Now, all this comes on the back of the story we've been covering the last couple days about the people on the Sea Dream super yacht getting the virus. Now, a couple words for context. This was not a U.S.-based cruise. This was not under any U.S. regulations. This wasn't under anything that the CDC was doing. Yet, the 5 people, the 7 people that have the virus on this yacht, it's now the impetus to reinstate the no-sail order. This is exactly what was said. The CDC is putting American lives at risk, not to mention the potential for enhancing the spread worldwide, said Senator Richard Blumenthal, senator from Connecticut. So Blumenthal and his co-sponsor here, Representative Matsui from California, they sent a letter to the CDC, and it's all predicated on what's going on with the Sea Dream. In the letter, they say this: in light of these disturbing reports, we feel strongly that you should reverse course on the recent decision by the CDC to take a phased approach to restarting cruise line operations in the United States. Instead, we implore you to extend the prior no-sail order until a time when the health and safety of passengers and crew can be assured. That last statement, super valid. I'm on board. We want the health of passengers and crew to be assured. And here's the secret. Are you ready for the secret? The no-sail order is still in place. The framework for conditional sailing is just a fancy no-sail order. And guess what the conditional framework for sailing is? It is a process to make sure that the safety of passengers and crew are in place. The very thing that these Congress people are looking for already exists. The document holds the feet of the cruise industry to the fire to make sure that the appropriate protocols and precautions are in place for safe sailing. It's ridiculous. It's yet another person trying to use fear and hyperbole to make a point. You just asked for the thing that's already in place. Should we be thinking about cruising during the spike of the pandemic? A lot of people concerned out there that we would even think about cruising. How could you go cruising during the spike in the pandemic? Well, you can't. That's the point. It's a process. It's going to take a while to get through these hoops. It's all about getting things in place so that they can offer a safe environment for people once these numbers go down. Cruising, it's not essential. Who gives a crap? I'll tell you who gives a crap. People who work in the cruise industry. I'm so sick of people with no solutions. Look, the easy solution to cruising is just shut it down. Well, what about the people that lose their jobs? Well, I don't know. Maybe they shouldn't have been in cruising. Is that really your solution? Everybody out there is a leader. Let that sink in. And leaders come up with solutions. Sitting around and pointing out the faults that other people have already pointed out without any creative solutions to it, well, that's just following. Be a leader. Come up with a solution. Here's the other thing that makes me mad. How many people would push back on the idea of people planning their wedding right now? If you want to talk about something that's non-essential and dangerous, let's talk about weddings. At the end of the day, you don't need a big wedding ceremony to be married. You can just get a piece of paper, right? That's it. You can get a piece of paper. You can start living together. But people like weddings. And right now, thousands of people are planning for their wedding in the spring weddings. They're looking at caterers. They're looking at halls. They're wondering what kind of food they're going to have. They're looking at wedding dresses. They're trying to figure out how many of their relatives they can drag from across the country to sit in a stupid room for 4 hours, give them a blender, and have themselves a wedding. Is anybody mad at people thinking about weddings during a pandemic? And what's more dangerous right now, cruising or a wedding? There's a story about a wedding that occurred in Maine in August where everybody was packed in on top of each other, no social distancing, no mask requirement, no health protocols at all, and a ton of people got sick. 30 people infected at the wedding, and branching it out, people lost their lives because they went to a wedding. Nobody had to get tested at the door. There wasn't a rigorous government protocol on top of this wedding to make sure that people were healthy before the wedding could occur. But yet, people are mad because people want to go cruising in a safe way where all of those things are in place. Why are we not mad about the weddings? You know what sucked this year for me? I had a son that graduated college, and I had a son that graduated from high school. Those are two major events in those young men's lives, and they were barely celebrated because of this pandemic. And I tell you what, we thought about those events for years in advance. What kind of party can we have for our kid when he celebrates college? What kind of party can we have for our last kid to graduate high school? What can we do? And you know what we got to do? Nothing. Our son that graduated high school, he got to graduate on the TV screen. We got to see it that way. And our son that graduated college, they didn't do anything. They just sent him his dang diploma. So should people stop thinking about what it means for their kids to graduate school, for thinking that in 3 months, in 6 months, that they may be able to have a party? Is that wrong to be hopeful for those things during a pandemic? They're certainly non-essential. It's just a kid getting a piece of paper saying that you got something done. That's certainly non-essential. But is it wrong to even consider that? I'm so sick of the people that are like, aren't you worried about health? Yes, we didn't have a party for my kid because of health. Nobody's not worried about health, but at the same time, they're not mutually exclusive. How dare you tell people they shouldn't think about their jobs, and how dare you tell people they shouldn't think about a time where they could do something that they enjoy doing? It doesn't mean they're going to do it. It doesn't mean they're going to disregard health protocols, put people at risk, but to take away the idea that you can think about something because of what's going on in the world is ridiculous. Are we banning thinking about weddings for the thousands of people that are going to get married in the spring? Are we banning about thinking about graduation parties for the hundreds of thousands of kids that will graduate in the spring? No. But can we do those things? We don't know yet. There's mechanisms in place to say whether or not that we can do that, and there's a mechanism in place to say whether or not we could sail again. The no-sail order is there. All the CDC has to say is, no, you didn't jump through enough hoops. So sad. Sorry, try again. But yeah, so it's a ridiculous waste of time to be writing letters back and forth to the CDC saying reinstate the no-sail ban. This is dangerous to Americans. And nobody's been cruising out of the United States since March. The COVID problem is not a cruising problem. It's a wedding problem. It's too many people gathered together without using the protocols problem. It's a general disregard for health and safety. It's not a cruising problem. I just hate that people see this as some sort of champion horse that they can ride to their own glory, because it's ridiculous. Fix some real problems out there. Come up with a solution for the American workers that are hurting because their industry is challenged to reopen. It's not just the cruising industry. Do that work. Reinstate the no-sail ban. It's already there. All right, man, I didn't mean to be so chippy on a Saturday, and I got a tear, man. I'm freaking mad about my kids. Thank you guys so much for watching the show. Show your support by hitting the like button. Subscribe if you're so inclined. Tony for Lido Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.